What's going on, golf addicts? David Barnett here of the Tour Junkies. My boy Pat Perry sipping on that vodka right now, and we are pumped for an interview that we've actually been, we've been trying to get for a while. I think actually we were trying to get this before the boys over at No Laying Up got it, and then they got it, and I sent a text to my boy Lawrence Tynes and I said, "Hey, what are we doing? What are we doing?" And then we still haven't worked it out. It's been a while. But we're finally making it happen with a rookie on the PGA Tour that is pretty beloved by, I think, more people than he's probably aware of. But our boy Harry Higgs, we got tons of BDE energy on the pod tonight. That stands for Big Dallas Energy. Harry Higgs, how's it going, buddy? Welcome to the show.
Oh, all good. Yeah. Apologies that it took a national lockdown to come on, but we'll certainly have some fun while here.
Yeah. Well. That's right, man. We're used to getting big timed. You guys do it all the time.
Yeah,
I think they teach you that.
Your point was exactly right. I don't think many people even really. It's funny to me that people even want to watch me play golf or talk about me playing golf. So I'm getting used to all this. This is all very new. But I don't know if it was big time or not. If it was,
no, man,
I'd have to
totally
apologize.
Kidding. It was more LT. It was more LT's fault. But man,
that's certainly a goal for me. No big time in anybody throughout all this. But
of course, you don't strike us as that kind of guy, for sure. But you're in Dallas, right? You're currently in Dallas. You live in Dallas. You play out of Trinity Forest.
Yep.
Now I do have to start off. Speaking of LT, he wanted me to ask you, what's up with, growing up in Kansas, playing out at Lionsgate, and then wanting to, claim that you're a Dallas guy and you're not really owning up to your roots. I hear that's kind of an issue.
The question of where I'm from and everything is it's a difficult one in that, like, on the PGA Tour website they ask, or you fill a sheet out, and in our deal it says birthplace. I was born. To me, a birthplace is where you were born. I was born in Camden, New Jersey.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was just born there. That's where the hospital was. We lived in New Jersey, just outside Philadelphia, for a bit. I then moved to Ohio, which we lived in Columbus, Ohio for like 2.5 years. And I completely have almost just forgotten all about that. And in any sort of, like, in this discussion about where you're from, what you're doing, this, and this, I keep forgetting about the Ohio times. But we lived in Ohio for a couple of years, and then I moved to Malvern, Pennsylvania, just outside Philadelphia, so kind of back to the East Coast. And then we moved to Kansas City. My mom and dad, that was basically, we moved to Kansas City in 4th grade. So a lot of the moving was going on when I was young. And then, I admit I came to school here in Dallas and really haven't really left since. But there is, on the website, it was birthplace, resides in, hometown. And I filled every one of them out as I should. Camden, New Jersey, I reside in Dallas, and my hometown is Overland Park, Kansas. Little did I know that the majority of the time I was going to, and it's about 50-50 whether I get Camden, get announced in the first tee, Harry Higgs from Camden, New Jersey, which I just laugh at. Or the other one, they skip hometown. It's either birthplace or resides in. So I either get Dallas or I get Camden, which are two wildly different places. So actually the only time I got Overland Park, Kansas was when we played on the Korn Ferry Tour last year, in Kansas City. And I had to have the guy scribble out. I don't know how I remembered to do it, but if he did it every day, he'd have to scribble out Dallas, Texas, and say Overland Park, Kansas. So I pleased him when I needed to.
Well, you're speaking of Korn Ferry. You're a winner, man. You won on the Korn Ferry Tour. I mentioned you're a rookie on the PGA Tour right now. You've already made a killing on the PGA Tour. You're moving up in status. You're like 40 something in the FedEx Cup standings, 135 in the world golf ranking. You nearly won in Bermuda within like your first few events on the PGA Tour. And Harry, I have to tell you, I know this is, you probably hear this a handful of times. If you don't, you'll probably hear it, in your career, and you're going to be like, I couldn't give any less shit about what you're about to tell me. But I had talked you up pre-tournament. And I think you were like what was he, like 80-1 or 90-1, Pat? It was somewhere in that like 80 to 110. And I had written you down. I wrote you down in an email that we send out to a bunch of people.
Yeah.
You were one of my 5 picks, and I had you
Love
rolling from Thursday morning. And coming into Sunday, I'm like, my man, he's got a lead. He's got a 2-shot, 3-shot lead or something going in.
Yeah.
And here we go. And then freaking Brendon Todd, who we like Brendon Todd. He was just on the podcast. He's a Georgia boy. We're Georgia boys. You know, he's a damn good dog, and I loved seeing it happen for him. But damn, I was disappointed. I know you were too, though.
One, I obviously really enjoyed playing that weekend with Brendon. I didn't enjoy how the Sunday went. I did. I had a 2-shot lead, and I shot 3 under par, and I lost by 4.
Yeah,
and it was really over by the 8th.
That's incredible.
Like, I mean, it was by the 8th hole. You know, you wake up and you warm up and you go through your whole deal, and you kind of, you know, you think ahead and think about how the day's going to go. Never in a million years would you ever think that by the 18th, the guy in your group that was 2 back is like waltzing to the win. It is over.
It's like when the Braves, I always make fun of Braves fans. It's like when this past season when the Braves had that last playoff game and the whoever it was scored 9 runs in the first inning, and everybody's just like, well, F this.
Well, okay. I think I made it like probably 3 innings, and then it was just like, okay, I mean, he's winning, so I need to try to do my best to finish second. I appreciate the early love, the pre-tournament love. I do. Yeah. I don't think I'll get any respect in terms of, and I'm a betting man. I obviously cannot bet on golf.
Sure.
There are times when I'm intrigued to see like what I'm at or what friends of mine are at, and I don't think I'll get any love yet. Obviously, the better I play, the better my odds would be, or I guess worse my odds would be if you were actually gambling on me. But I don't know, 80-1, 80, 90-1. That was. I like these things and use them as motivation. I don't think that. I mean, and to be honest with you, I really wasn't playing that well going into it. I had a few solid weeks, but I feel like that's almost a slight. That field was, I mean, still very good. Tons of PGA Tour guys and PGA Tour winners, but I probably could have been even a little higher.
Well, there's just a lot of irregularity because you guys are so new. There's so many of you guys that are new. They don't know. Yeah.
You know, I know you're new out there, obviously, but you know, how many players do you think actually are like you and may check their odds just really quick, or maybe they look at DraftKings and see what their price is? Like, do you think there's maybe more so than let on?
Yes, 100%. I think it's over half would know, or even if you didn't expressly look, you would just know. Like, and obviously, the best in the world, they know that they're the favorites and whatnot. But I'll always try to find little ways to like create a chip on my shoulder. And some weeks it's straight up that I look at the odds of, you know, I'm 350-1 to win this week. Like, there isn't even 350 guys in this tournament, and I'm better than all of them or most of them or some of them anyway.
I don't know, but your odds have definitely gotten shorter pretty quickly, and I hate that it came to a halt for, you know, we're in this stoppage because you were on quite the run, but you made like 5 consecutive cuts. You were I out west I played well. I did not do great in Florida the first 2 Honda and Bay Hill, but I mean those were 2 of the hardest golf courses I've ever played in my tournament golf career. So Bay Hill was hilarious. What we should do, I know you've got your list of guys that you that you really, really want to beat. What we need to do is, like, you can just, after this call, you need to text us the full list. And then before every round, I'll send you a text and tell you where your odds are relative to those boys.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it won't be every week that I'll know that. But I know, you know, and I usually, obviously, the list is used to create a motivation. Yeah. So normally it's players that are better than me, ranked higher than me, whatever. So, yes, in theory, they're almost always going to be ahead of me, and that's always going to piss me off and make me want to perform better. I would say for sure, to answer, I think more than half the guys out there know or have a pretty good idea or will even look to see their odds. I mean, we're all – not all. I mean, golfers aren't all gamblers and degenerates and whatnot, but we all are usually
most are,
well versed in like what's going on, and it's it is, for me, it's so fun to be a part of that, and that like my name is actually written down. Whereas,
oh yeah, that'd be a blast.
5 or 10 years ago, I never was big into betting on golf. I don't know if I was ever allowed to do it even while I was in college or whatnot. And I don't know, maybe I did and broke the rules once or twice, but I mean, I would always look and see, and now it's just cool to have my name like be on those lists.
That would be cool.
Now I want my name to be at the top of those lists.
Yeah.
Selfishly, obviously.
Well, and then what's going to happen, though, is you're going to start, like, as you start playing better and you're doing better in tournaments, then you're going to have people shouting at you from the, we heard this from Kevin Kisner and everybody else we talked to. You're screwing up they're going to tweet you that you're screwing their DraftKings lineup or whatever like that.
I'll tell you what, people can tweet me, yell at me, whatever you want. I find it humorous, some of the things that people come up with. The yelling thing on the golf course, at one of these days, it's going to get to a point where somebody's going to yell something in somebody's swing, and it won't get ugly, like it won't be a brawl or whatnot, but that's just not, we don't want to see that. But I don't care what you yell at me while I'm walking or anything like that, because it's the same. Like, if you picked me in a DraftKings or a daily fantasy something, a weekly fantasy, and I don't even know anything really about DraftKings or anything like that. I never did it. If you pick me, I want to do well for both you and I, okay? I'm not – usually my investment, unless you're really swinging some serious cash, usually my investment in it is substantially larger than the one you made for this week. But I want to see both of us do very well. I mean, we spend $2,500 at least a week. I mean, normally it's like $3,000 to $5,000 a week just to show up. So even – most people that are going to be yelling at me or tweeting at me have not made that sort of investment in that event. Okay? So feel free. I find it hilarious, but cut us some slack. We do want to do well for you guys too, because that means we've done well for ourselves.
Well, we have to say we do not advise that to our listeners. We don't ever want our listeners being that guy in the Twitter streets or on the course. This is your job.
Sure.
I will say, I think for a guy like you who has some self-awareness, like you're aware enough to know that that's out there and what it does for you and what it does for the game and that it brings awareness and all this kind of stuff. Like, I think it'll be really cool for you if, like, let's say I could see you as like a really good U.S. Open player. Maybe I'm completely pegging this incorrectly, but I see you as like a really good U.S. Open player. Like, let's say you are a major factor in a U.S. Open. Let's say top 5 in a U.S. Open. Your price in a U.S. Open is going to be at the bottom on like a DraftKings, right? And somebody rosters you and hits the nuts, and you're in it, and they win 6 figures or even $1 million on DraftKings, and they tweet you, and they're like, "Dude, Harry Higgs is the reason because nobody had him, and he was priced at this, and I had him in my lineup, and he just won me X, hundreds of thousands of dollars, something like that." For a guy like you, sounds like it would be pretty cool for you to see that. Whereas other guys are just going to be like,
I want to see that, like. Yeah. And that's why I say it's fine to, tweet me or yell at me when I'm not swinging my golf club, please. But, like, I want to see it too. That is awesome. I mean, I never got into the DraftKings and the daily fantasy or whatever the heck they call it. But I do think it's so cool. And I think golf is making a push to have it be even more of a factor in terms of, like, shot by shot, hole by hole.
Yeah.
And I think that will be good for the game. I think there's going to be, a period where it needs to get worked out and everything. And then, as anything, it'll get better over time. But that would be so sick because therein lies the deal. Like, you invest whatever it is, not this really investment, you gamble whatever it is.
Yeah. And
you win, let's say you win $500,000. Like, selfishly, I'd like to finish like 3rd or better, so I win at least $500,000 too. But if I finish 5th and you beat me that week because you picked me, like, that is sick. I mean, I think around 5th, if it was a $500,000 win for the average guy that just did it, I think if I finished 5th alone, I don't think I would make that. I mean, that'd be hilarious.
It would be pretty. Yeah, it's definitely happened. I mean, it happens a good bit where you have guys win more than whatever, but. So what?
Trust me, everybody on tour would love to see that happen.
Yeah,
there are weeks where, and I've always said, somebody somewhere said it, like in the crowd said it something oh man, one of the weeks I was playing well. Oh, I didn't pick you this week or something. I really missed out or something like that. And I just went, well, do you not like money? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be, and it takes a while to learn like what type of player you are. I'm pretty sure I will be pretty good in these like week-to-week fantasy deals, because I see myself, and the results have bared out, that the type of player that I am is someone that usually is playing for 4 days, and like
which is important.
Most iffy weeks are 25th to 30th, and if I can get it together and make, have a run of 6-9 holes of maybe a few birdies, clean card, I'm around the lead, or if you get really hot, you're in the lead. So, yeah, I guess I don't want to like volunteer to be everybody's week-to-week stud, because I'll get all kinds of crap if I don't do well. But no, I think I kind of view myself as somebody that actually would be beneficial, I guess, in that format.
Oh, well, you definitely are, and you're well on your way to doing so. But speaking of that, your thoughts on the revised schedule? I think you're on the Player Advisory Council, and just as you're looking ahead, and it looks like now we're starting at Colonial in your home state currently in Texas. So what do you think of just the schedule itself, the home state thing, not playing in front of fans, how the majors are going to work, Ryder Cup, like all your thoughts, just brain dump us for those of us who are just itching to get back to it. How do you think all this is going to look?
I think it's awesome that we were one of the ones to like put pen to paper and say, hey, we're going to try to play here. We're going to try to fit the 2019-2020 FedEx Cup. We're going to try to finish that, pay out, and then go again 2020, 2021. And I obviously, selfishly for me, I want to get back to just competing and beating people. So I want to play as fast as possible. If that looks like it's going to be, or it's not looks like, it's going to be the week of June 8th. So I hope nothing goes on between now and then that affects that date. I would be, and then now the rest of this is my opinion. This is not stuff we've discussed. I would be surprised if at any point this year there will be fans allowed. I would assume that the tour and like majors that, USGA, PGA of America, the folks at Augusta National, I would assume that they're going to make every push possible to have fans. Obviously with Ryder Cup, I've seen articles or, there's a backup plan that doesn't include, fans being there. I would be surprised if they play, like if there's no fans allowed, I'd be surprised if they even played. I don't know. I'm not in those rooms with those folks, but it seems like maybe the easiest thing to do would just push it back a year. Just because I'm sure you can make more money that way. But then again, you weigh the cost of the cancellation or postponement too. I mean, how this has hit everyone in all walks of life, and then obviously at the tour level. Like, I'm sure we'll see stuff in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years from now that there's still going to be effects from what's going on right now, which is a bummer. We're very fortunate. We get to play for quite a bit of money, and for the most part, everybody does well and can, afford to feed their families and can afford to sit around on their rear ends for 3 months and not really worry about it. We are the lucky ones in all this. But we all feel the same thing, that we want to get back to playing as quick as possible, especially if we're one of the first leagues to come back. That would be awesome, just because it would bring more eyes to golf. Obviously we're all sports starved. Like anything that's on out there, we're going to watch. Yep. We'll see. I think the next bit of discussion we're supposed to have is on like what an event would look like. What precautions, what safety measures are we going to take into account so that we can ideally start on that date and finish as we have now obviously planned with this revised schedule. So that should be an interesting one. I'm sure that everything and anything is a possibility in terms of what we're going to do week to week on site. I always thought that golf would be one of the last ones to come back, just Not because obviously when we're out there, we're playing. It's very easy to stay 6 feet away from. Usually there's 6 guys in your group, 3 guys and 3 caddies. It's very easy to stay away from them. The hardest part with us is we come from all over the country and world.
Yeah.
We descend on a place and we have to stay in a place for 7 days, and we have to move in and out of that place, dinners, hotels,
Yeah.
Stop and fill up gas. We're constantly moving around in these communities. I would assume that obviously the tour wants us to get back playing. I would assume that there's going to be probably a good deal of monitoring our movements from a Monday to a Sunday at a tournament site.
You guys all going to be wearing
the only way.
You guys all going to be wearing ankle bracelets, like house arrest kind of deals? That could be cool.
Man, I'll tell you what, I would do and wear anything that's necessary.
New sponsor.
I don't know that it'll go that far. I did joke the other day that the whole mask wearing thing is a definite sponsor opportunity. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if somebody rolls out with a logo mask.
You're probably right. We need to come up with a TJ mask. I mean, we just got the new polos in and the. Yeah.
I would not be. It would be surprising, but I would not be shocked in the same vein there. Like, although I think sponsorships in this day and age are going to be tough to come by. Everybody's kind of struggling.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll see. I'm curious. Whenever it might be later this week or early next week, the logistics call we're going to have. I'm really excited to hear that.
Yeah,
because I have some ideas, and I'm sure that the tour is so good at what they do, and it's rare that we get on these calls and we come up with something they haven't already thought of, basically. So,
I mean, maybe they haven't thought about the ankle bracelet thing. I mean, you never know.
I mean, I could see some weird stuff, some really weird stuff.
What would be the first? Let's just pontificate here.
Yeah.
I'm sure it wouldn't be TaylorMade because they're way more respectable than this. But what would be like the first big club manufacturer that we think would come out with a branded mask? What club manufacturer would it be? I feel like it would have to be PXG. And
it's got to be PXG.
Just put like an F COVID on there or something.
And no disrespect to PXG, but I don't even think of them. And I guess in saying this, that's disrespectful, but I don't even really think of them still. Like,
as that brand.
And they make great stuff, and they have great players that use their stuff. But they're just growing up here. It was always Ping, Callaway, Titleist, TaylorMade.
Yeah,
I think that's it. I'm the worst guy to ask about this kind of stuff. I mean,
okay.
I tell you what, if TaylorMade paid me a little extra to wear it, I might, and I have to wear it with the landscape of how everything is.
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
I'd wear it, absolutely. I'm not a big fan of the face mask thing, so.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, I'm officially not a face mask wearer.
Yeah,
I don't think.
I mean, I get it. Like going to the grocery store at the moment is probably not the safest thing in the world, and you need to take every safety precaution.
Yeah.
I find it a little absurd when I turn on the news or you turn on TV and somebody's doing an interview with a mask on with no one within 50 yards of them.
Yeah.
Like now you're just doing it to freak us out. Come on.
Yeah.
Like anybody in America, no one has ever turned the television on and seen somebody with a mask doing an interview as a news reporter or whatnot.
No.
No one's seen it. I mean, even the 115-year-olds in this country have not seen that. Like, that's a little much, okay?
That is a little absurd.
Yeah,
of those upcoming – oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, when I've gone to the grocery store, like, I don't wear the mask, but I do find myself, like, holding my breath. Like, I'm walking by, I'm like turning blue.
Now everybody at least, like, is noticing everybody, too. You're always looking around, and you're like, okay.
It's so
that
weird.
Guy's clearly walking towards me now. I got to stop, so we stay 6 feet apart. And you kind of, it's people are more aware of their surroundings and their movements, I guess. Obviously, I hope it ends soon selfishly for me, but more so for the folks that are having a hard time with all this and the people that have lost loved ones and all that stuff. But
100%.
Hopefully we can get back to normal here shortly.
Well, when you get back to normal, of those upcoming tournaments that you see on that new schedule, and I know this is probably a good time for you to have a break because I know you've been playing a lot of golf. But when you look at those tournaments, are there courses on there that you're already familiar with or that you look at and go, man, that is the type of course that really suits me well? Or just in general, like what type of courses do you find yourself most comfortable playing on?
I don't know that I've ever had or at least had an idea of what specific type of golf I excel at. Especially over the last couple of years, I mean, obviously the courses in Latin America where I had success vary, they vary a lot. Last year, the Corn Ferry Tour, we don't have a ton of variance in terms of what the golf courses are like, but there were some that look different and play different, and I still had success on those versus your old school tree-lined parkland golf course. I've played Colonial before, obviously being half hour or so away. I like that golf course. I do think courses like that would suit me more. Places where I like to play golf courses where you can make a decision or hit a club off a tee or, into a green that you can separate yourself. And Colonial is a place where like I would get up and hit a lot of drivers because it's a strength. It's probably my best strength in terms of my game is the accuracy and length. I can drive a golf ball. So I would go to Colonial and play pretty aggressive, and I've been there before. So I feel that would certainly be a good one. And then there really isn't, I'm pretty sure almost every course, at least my understanding of most of the courses that we're going to play in this new revised schedule, they're all kind of relatively similar to Colonial. And we go Colonial, and then we go Harbor Town, which is, from my understanding, a shorter, but and a little, probably even more narrow.
It is narrow, yeah. It's tight.
Yeah. I mean, Colonial's tight. It sounds like Harbor Town is even
smaller corridors you got to hit it through. I do not know much about
River Highlands.
I think we go to Detroit after that. Then we go to Travelers.
Yeah, Travelers, TBC, River Highlands, then Detroit.
Yeah. But that's River Highlands is kind of similar to now they won't look the same because one's in Texas and one's in Connecticut. But the way in which they play, there's some risk reward, there's some drivers versus not. Like I think the first three are they're not darn near the same course because they'll all look different and play different. But like the shots that would be rewarded would be pretty similar. And then my early thought was probably play the first three and then take Detroit off. I think that's the 4th of July week. Yep. We usually do a Higgs family vacation on the Outer Banks of North Carolina. We go to the beach and just drink a bunch of beer and hang out and have fun and see everyone. I have no idea if that will actually happen, obviously, this year.
Yeah.
So in a perfect world, I play 3 events. I have 3 good weeks. I take a week off.
Yeah.
And then I go to John Deere. But then again, we also don't know how access and, eligibility, will my number be good enough to get into some of these events, because all of these tournaments are going to see guys playing them that haven't played in them, probably ever, or, not within 10 years. We'll see. So it may be I get to pick and choose where I want to go, or it might be when I'm in, I got to go play. But again, I'd love to go play and compete anywhere. So.
Nice. You seem like you might have some superstitions. Do you have any superstitious?
I gotta go refill. I'll be right back.
All right. Do you have any superstitious type things that you do during a round or before a round?
I would say no.
Okay, no. All right.
The only things that come to mind, I always wear, when I'm wearing pants, I always wear long socks, like calf-high socks. Mm-hmm. And these really have no bearing. I've just done them forever. So I'll just list the random stuff that I do. I always wear calf-high socks. If they have the right and left, like the R and L for right and left foot, I put them on the opposite foot. So I don't know why, I've just always done it. Kind of as a screw you, maybe. I don't know. And then I always have eye drops and chapstick, and then at least 2 ball markers in my pocket. And other than that, that's really it. The sunglasses, I don't think those really count. Like in the eye drops and the chapstick are, have actual use. They're not just there to be.
Yeah.
But those are really the only things that like I feel that I do that maybe others don't, I guess. I mean, I haven't hit a shot without sunglasses on in probably almost 6-7 years straight. I mean, even if it's raining.
Are they prescription or are they just regular sunglasses?
So they're a light prescription, and then I just like the way that it's tinted. And my girlfriend will like to hear this, but I might have some trouble seeing and differentiating blues and greens. And the sunglasses certainly help. Like they're kind of like a light brown tint, so everything just kind of, all the green just really shows itself in a way. I don't really know anything about all this stuff, but
I may have to try that. I'm a little bit colorblind myself. I mean, basically, you're saying you're colorblind is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm not colorblind. I think my opinion on some of the colors differs from others. I mean, who's right and who's wrong? Who knows?
That's true. That's what I say. Yeah. That's the same thing I say. Like it's red, but they say it's red. I'm like, no, it's brown.
Fucking say.
Yeah. But I mean, still, maybe we're all the ones that can see, and the ones that are adamant that colors are what they are.
Exactly.
You never know. I struggle with blues and greens, apparently, or my opinion of blues and greens. I'll tell you what. Next time, hopefully it's soon. I'll let you put the sunglasses on, and you tell me you can't read greens better. That's the way in which the greens show. I personally think it's an advantage for me.
Well, I'm gonna check this out. I don't understand though the 2 ball markers. Like, why do you need 2 ball markers? Like, are you gonna lose one?
Yeah, I might lose one. At least 2. Sometimes I have 3. In case I got to go up and mark somebody's ball, or somebody forgets their mark. Or I like to be. I guess my superstition is I just like to be, and it's not a superstition now, but I just like to be over prepared for any sort of situation or scenario. I do not like surprises. I do not like. I mean, it would throw my whole day off if I got to the first green and didn't have a marker.
And you had to like use a tee or something.
Yeah, some guys are just like, no big deal. They just walk around. Hey, man, you have a coin in there or something? No, I don't. I got them in my pocket. I'm using them, and that's that. So, no, I have a few extras in my bag. But it would throw my whole day off if I got to the green and there wasn't the markers and it's always in my left pocket. There wasn't the markers in my left pocket.
Well, I'm the same way. I do have to have things in the right pockets, but I don't like DB knows I'm OCD is all get out. But the one thing I'm not OCD about, which is weird, is ball markers. Like I only have one in my pocket, and I swear I never lose it because I lose all kinds of shit on a golf course. Like I used to have like one specific one I'd use, and then I'd go a while, but I lost it or misplaced or whatever. I just use the little like plastic ones that you like stick into the ground. Yeah.
And I just have a ton of those. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh. I don't think there's anyone else on tour, at least that I've played with so far, that uses these plastic ones like I do that you like poke into the ground. I've never seen anybody else use one.
Have you ever seen a player on tour use a poker chip?
Please God say no. No, please God say yes.
No, I know people have.
I need names.
See, I can't even.
I need
I'm
names.
pretty sure I've seen one this year.
Rory
but
Sabatini.
Now it's just
he strikes me as a poker chip guy.
No, I haven't played with him. I wouldn't know.
He's got a wrist tattoo. He wears like 3 chokers. He's got to have a poker chip.
I've seen he uses yellow balls.
Yeah.
We were on a putting green once.
Yeah.
I tell you what, he made like 6 30-footers in a row though. It's like, whoa, maybe I need the yellow balls to see the green even better.
Yeah, you need that.
No, I know I've seen a poker chip before. I can't remember when or who it was. People. Yeah, I'm surprised it's so uniform. Like I'm surprised people don't put down. Like I could put down in theory my chapstick.
Yeah.
Which obviously gets in the way more than anything else.
That's what Fleener was doing during the Players.
He was doing that, actually.
We were walking around Fleener.
He was doing that. But, the poker chip is, I mean, it's like a quarter inch. I mean, it's
absurd.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, what you're doing a good thing for the community with the ball markers that you're using. They're like, you could putt right over that. It wouldn't make a difference.
It's very flush. You're not going to
right over it. Yeah. Right over it. I rarely ever have to move my mark. Sometimes it's just, hey, man, you mind tapping that down? And then I use them for drills, on the putting green before rounds, after round, in practice. I don't know. I've not always. I guess it's since Trinity Forest Open. They have the bigger one, and then they have the smaller one, and I just grab a handful of the smaller ones, and those are what I use. I've never seen anybody else use them in all of my professional golf. And I'm sure somebody does. I just haven't seen it, but no, I like them. Man, it's easy. It's simple. It's not a coin or a quarter. I don't like that stuff jiggling around in the bag or in my pocket.
Yeah. The plastic is quiet.
Yeah.
I like this. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm with you here.
The OCD is
okay.
Yeah. So I might not be superstitious, but I think I might have some issues.
Well, we all do. All right. So I have to ask this because you kind of feel to me just like a throwback type player, and so that's where this question came from when I thought about it. So what player from the 80s or 90s era would you compare yourself to, like personally, like your personality to? And then who would you compare yourself to as far as your game is concerned? 80s and 90s.
First of all, I think he was born in the 90s. So
I don't care. You got to be a golf fan. Or you can go into the early 2000s. Go into the early 2000s.
I am a golf fan, and I think that Tiger Woods has made this question for any one of us next to impossible to ever answer. Because if it's not my golf, anything outside of like 10 years on, so 2010 to 2020 now, like I could remember just about anything. Anything before that was just Tiger Woods, right? None of us thought it was just Tiger Woods. Current guy, kind of Mark Leishman comes to mind, and don't ask me to explain why. He just kind of does. He drives a good. I mean, he's just kind of good at everything and gets in the mix and clearly learned how to win and picks off a win or two every year, one win a year. I'd love to have a career like him where most people don't even know who he is, and he just pops up and wins one of the biggest events every other year, and contends in majors 2-3 times a year. Someone from I could see like a previous player, David Duval, because we kind of solely because of how I swing the club. I think we kind of swing the club the same. Sometimes I get my head to kind of release a little early, and really honestly when I'm at my best is when I have it time to release a little early towards the target. So that's the only reason that he would come to mind. I don't know enough about players to compare my personality.
That's 43, man.
So I'm an old guy, but I kind of thought of Freddie Couples because, and here's why. Freddie was always he's a cool guy, but he's also a very you kind of seem like sort of a feel type player, and he was that's what he did. He was just a feel guy. I even listened to an interview with his caddy, former caddy, obviously now caddies for Tiger, Joe LaCava. Yeah. Basically talked about that and how he could just hit a number. He knew immediately if he was 152 yards out, he was within a couple yards. I just always felt like Couples was just that good, great feel player. And that was kind of what I thought about with you was a Freddie Couples.
I'll tell you what, I probably need to, at the moment now it's hard because I've got, we've had 10, 11 weeks and now I can get all technical. But yes, there will be a push before Colonial to get more of that feel. And over the last couple of years, I have played my best golf with, me having the most in terms of feel. Absolutely. Where, like you just said, you've got 152. When I'm really good, I can almost feel like it's a 9-iron, let's say, and I can feel the length of the swing, how hard I need to hit it. I can almost feel the strike of the club to the ball before I even do it. And then obviously that's just kind of like a mental preparedness thing, visualization thing. You've given yourself such a great chance to have success in that shot if you do that. So yeah, I mean that.
Plus there's the swag, the swagger. You know what I mean? Like you guys both. I don't know that the swagger is the same, but you both have it. You both kind of own your own thing. Like you're walking down the course, you're perfectly comfortable in your own skin. You're showing your chest meat. You know, you got your sunglasses. You know, and you just kind of have your thing. And Freddie just had his swagger.
Yeah, I would say that personality-wise, we're probably very different. But in terms of the way we carry ourselves, that yes, that would be pretty spot on. I am perfectly fine looking and being me. And if that equates to swagger, then so be it. I'll take it for sure. But no, I mean, and then again, not to sound like an arrogant prick, but there isn't really anybody else like me either.
No, there's not.
Like
which is great.
And it wasn't like it was a rush to get to the PGA Tour to show people that there's someone else playing golf. But like, I mean, I've had a few people, tweet me or comments like, "Who is that guy? Is he the standard bearer today, or what's he doing out on the golf course?" Like, I kind of love that is part of the aura and the mystique, if you will, which is so small still. But I kind of like that, and I just look like anybody else you would see going around at your local golf course, and I excel at what I do, and I obviously work hard, and
I can totally relate. I mean, there are not many Pat Perrys on this earth. I mean, it's just like
nope.
So
not.
A lot of guys look the same. Yeah, I do not.
Yeah. All right, so you briefly mentioned this earlier about your girlfriend. She was probably within earshot of you. So I'm gonna ask you a girlfriend question here. So now that being in quarantine for a long time here, we're over a month, I think now, with your girlfriend, I'm sure she is exposed to at least one annoying thing or habit that you have. Okay, so what is it? Maybe during quarantine, like a new one.
You've been in the house together. She can't get away from you right now. She's like, okay, you know what? I realize you do this or you don't do this, and this pisses me off or it irritates me.
Okay. Courtney, what's the one thing during this quarantine that you've realized about me that really irritates you? No, I don't.
We're not trying to start a fight.
Oh. Should I say that? Yeah. So, when using the restroom, I
had a feeling it was a good go the restroom route. That was
okay.
I did
so nothing too inappropriate, but I like to, when I'm using toilet paper, I like it to be off the roll. Off it. The fastest way to do it is to just like hold it and just go around, and then it's already folded and everything for you, instead of having to pull it and then cut it and then roll it. So I'm taking away a step. So whenever she puts it on the roll, I take it off the roll, and then I'll use it, and that's that.
Oh, you take it off you take it off the thing like that holds it on the wall,
completely.
Right?
Off completely. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
And then do you not put it back when you're done?
No. I like it off. I like it off the thing. I like using both hands and grabbing it and getting whatever you need, and then go.
That is the kind of ridiculous answer I was hoping for, because when you live with a significant other or you're married long enough, like you learn these things that are so. I mean, I remember one of my wife's and I's first big arguments when we got married and started living. It was that I didn't cook hamburger meat the right way. And you're like, what are you talking about? I cook hamburger meat the only way you can cook hamburger meat, because it's the only way I saw it cooked for 20-something years of my life.
Yeah.
And
she's like, nothing else. Yeah.
No, you dummy. You can cook it like this. I'm like, what? You're a freak. It's those kind of things that are always interesting to hear what they are. So that's amazing.
That would be our, that's a little
Can you think of anything
Not
that she
extreme, but
does?
it's a little.
I don't want to get you in trouble. You can say, is there anything that you've noticed that you're like, why does she do that? Or I didn't think she did. I was on the road playing my golf, and I never realized that this was a thing. And now she's,
I don't know if I've been in tune enough over these times to really like.
I don't know. She said something about me not paying much attention to her, but I wasn't really listening.
Stay out of the way. And, there's in the sink. I always use, and I'm she, has over exceeded expectations in terms of like cooking and the meals that I've been able and afforded to eat. So I obviously get to clean up. I'm a big what is it called? Sponge. Just a sponge guy, but I have, the sink, two sides, one side with the garbage disposal, one side not.
Yeah.
And then I have the like long Brussels thing that's got like the soap in it,
yes,
which I never use. But it's just what I should do is just throw it away. But I put it in the non-garbage disposal side because my family growing up, we just always garbage disposal, clean. So she likes to use that to clean little bits, and then it ends up in the garbage disposal side, which is the no-go side for that little scrub Russell thing. So I guess that's all we could come up with for her.
No, that's exactly
it ends up
what
on
I'm
the wrong
about.
Side. That was either yesterday or 2 days ago. That was the first thing I was doing the dishes. I said, please do not have this end up on this side. That's the first thing that I've like vocalized. Don't do this anymore.
Oh Lord, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, I'm sure this question gets asked to you a lot, Harry. This is a big one. And I try, I said we try not to ask you the same questions all the time,
sure.
But being a rookie on the PGA Tour, you get a chance to meet your heroes, right? And I know that's got to be a thrill. I want you to tell me what it was like, what you said, and the feeling that you had the first time you got to meet Joel Damon at a PGA Tour event.
When was the first time we met? we knew of each other, I think, just through mutual friends. We played together the last tournament. We probably actually, us being paired together, probably had to shut everything down.
Yeah.
We played together at Arnold Palmer, and we started on 10 Thursday. 10's pretty much handshake par 4. Gonna look for birdie, or he drove it through the fairway in the left rough, but the back left flag, he's got like 85 yards, no problem at all, no problem. He had a good shot to like 12 feet. I mean, that's exactly what you're gonna do. But he's crying and complaining off the tee. I just dribbled into the rough. I don't know how I'm gonna play this course. I just dribbled into the rough.
Oh, guys, so terrible. The first hole he does that all the time.
Hole. Second hole, 11, he kind of pull hooks his hybrid. And he, before the ball's even landed on the fairway, that's in the water. And it came within probably a foot and a half of going, but it was fine. It's up on the green. And I knew he was, I don't know. I don't know if like eccentric is the right way. Like, but Joel is just Joel. You couldn't ask Joel the question you asked me previously. Like, who do you think relates to? No one relates to the way Joel does things. And I'm just standing there like, and this guy's like really good. Is this how he acts this whole time? Is this going to, because I thought we were going to have fun. Now I'm just going to avoid him if he's going to act like this. And then it kind of flipped.
Yep.
And we started having some fun. And he was playing fine. And he goes on and finishes 5th and qualifies for the British Open that week. And he's crying about how he can't play the course after the first shot he hit barely went through into the rough. Like, that to me should be studied about how that self-talk and that like just the berration of himself, he uses it to his advantage somehow. It's incredible.
I don't know, man. We're not out there every week, obviously, but we're tight with Gino and we're tight with Joel. And to hear Gino talk about like, pretty much the first hole of every day.
Yeah.
If we don't make a par or a birdie, Joel, it is going to be
emotional roller coaster.
An emotional roller, all hands on deck.
Yeah.
Joel is about to lose
too.
it.
It was hard as can be. I think in the 36 holes I played with him, I think he made like 2 birdies and 2 bogeys. So he's as steady as he can be. He's in like 15th.
Yeah.
But if you were out there looking at him, you know, I'm bouncing all around, and I had a nice fish to make the cut, and we played with Jazz, and Jazz was not having his best couple of days. Like, you would have thought that Joel was the one that was having the worst of the three of us. But
he's such a mental midget. I'm telling you, dude.
I tell you what, man, I just got it, you know, for 2 rounds with him and Gino. Their relationship and the way that they work is impressive. I mean, because Gino lets him do it, and then just like right at the last second, we'll get him right in gear when he needs to be. But I think Joel does it to do that as well. Like, it kind of kickstarts him into like, all right, maybe I am pretty good at this. I'll pay attention to that.
I mean, they're best friends.
I found it, and he's a good friend, and I'd tell it to him to his face. I don't get how you do that and have the success he's had and will continue to have, because he's insanely good.
I freaking love the guy.
Well, there's not much to know
and
about.
I felt like in asking you that, it would either highlight that you guys have had a chance to meet and already realized how you guys have probably hit it off, or if you're like, man, I really haven't had a chance to spend time with him, I was just going to be like, you have got to make a way to hang out with Joel Damon and Gino.
We knew of each other. I think it was through Kansas City. He's got a sponsor in Kansas City. And then
he does the cart. It's the cart or boat thing or something. I can't remember.
Mariner Wealth.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, I think that's right.
They do not do boats,
but
Mariner
would lead.
You just thought it.
But no, I mean, we knew of each other maybe last year at some point or whatnot, but we've gotten to play together. We played maybe 1 or 2 practice rounds. And then got paired up at the Arnold Palmer. I mean, it's
great guy.
It's incredible. I mean, it would, if I was a coach, I would go out there and tell kids, go out there and watch him and do not do what he's doing.
Yes.
But he's also like a top 65, 70 player in the world. Like, he's so good too. I mean,
he's good.
So.
Well, if listeners want to hear about the Tiger encounters, you know, your first Tiger encounter, they can go to another podcast. We're not about that here. We're going to stick to the important stuff. So here's a question: if you could pick one brand to the perfect brand to sponsor Harry Higgs, like you just think, man, that is a brand that embodies Harry Higgs that's not currently sponsoring you. What brand would that be?
I mean, the 2 that come to mind, and we've reached out to both, and if either one of them happens to listen to this, or somebody affiliated with the companies, Warby Parker, I buy your sunglasses, the same pair. I have 4 of them.
They've sponsored us.
They've sponsored us.
Okay, yeah. I buy them. I bought probably 12 pair. I had to go. You discontinued the one I used, so I had to go to eBay and buy 4 more, which I didn't really buy. My girlfriend did. She had the foresight to do it.
Now I got to go get the lenses changed out.
I wear your sunglasses every day, morning, noon, and night, sun up or sun down. So that's a layup.
And then we've reached out to Tito's vodka. I would say that Tito's would have to be the one.
What's funny is
them, and I think they only do are
into like an event sponsorship or a fundraiser or something, not so much individuals.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've got, again, Tito's. I've got closets full.
So
I think I even have I love drinking Tito's in my Instagram and Twitter profiles. So you guys are already getting all this advertising. You might as well pay. You might as well pay me for it. Does it read that way? This is probably Tito's?
Yeah.
More free advertising. Yeah.
Well,
that's the problem is they get so much free advertising.
Yeah, we've kind of started to put that together. So Warby Parker did like a 3 to 4 week sponsor on our show a while, maybe like less than a year ago. And so that's one, and I get that because that is kind of like a staple. That does make a lot of sense, right? Like you never take those freaking things off. So
and if I do not have them on, they're on the buttons of my shirt. There. Like you're always going to see them. That to me baffles me. I'm still it was really only half a year into my PGA Tour career. had we not gotten knocked off our schedule and I had played this full year and they hadn't reached out to me in some way, shape, or form, I would have been surprised because and I'm not saying like I'm going to be your poster boy or whatever, but I'm literally wearing them even when it's raining or it's not sunny.
I mean,
and they are all that I wear. Like, that's it. So
I barely recognized you when you got on the Zoom because you didn't have them on.
I know.
So
I should have put my sunglasses on.
I thought you were like Mark Leishman or something when you came on. But the Tito's thing, so me and Pat have been – so we call it podcast juice, right? So every podcast, you've got your podcast juice ready to go, and 9 times out of 10, it's Tito's. Now, Pat will eventually transition to another beverage here later in the night, but it's always been Tito's. And a couple of years ago, Pat famously got hammered on the podcast, and I said, dude, I don't know where you are right now. You're on Planet Tito's. You're somewhere, but you're not on Planet. You're not here. And so Planet Tito's became this thing. That's a really good one. With our listeners and all this stuff. And so we have reached out to Tito's, or we did aggressively. And I did get at one point through Twitter, I got an email address to send to somebody. And I remember I emailed her and I was like, listen, we freaking drink the mess out of this stuff. Like, and we talk about it all the time. And then she was just like, okay, we'll take a look at it. And totally, just didn't respond. We ghosted us completely.
My agent was doing it all, and he read me the email. He was at one event, and he just got the email back. Was walking a couple holes in the practice round. I don't remember exactly what it said, but it was the biggest FU email of all time. And I'm not pretending like I'm some sort of big deal and this, and this. But like, if you send me if you send me some free vodka, I'll probably say something here and there. I tell you what, when I win, if somebody asks me, what are you going to do? I'm probably just lately, even without a Tito sponsorship, going to say, I'm going to go and drink a whole mess of Tito's tonight. Like, you're going to get it. So let's just get it over with. Yeah. I don't even need the cash. Just give me some vodka.
Yeah. That's all I care about, too. Yeah. I don't need the cash.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just send me free vodka.
Yeah. It feels like this needs to go out and this needs to blow up.
I mean, what's the markup on
needs
liquor?
To come back to y'all and then help me out too.
Yeah.
And then Tito's has got to get it right, man. I live in Texas. They're from Texas. Hell, I probably know people that have invested in Tito's. Like, come on, man. This is a layup. It's a home run.
It really is. I mean, yeah. My wife's from Texas. I don't know if that counts. I can say that.
It counts.
I can say that.
Texas connection.
I've been to Texas.
My grandfather went to Baylor. Does that count too?
Oh, my daughter's name is Baylor.
Oh, there it is.
How does this not happen? I really don't know. Maybe the people listening to this on Twitter.
Get it together.
Here's what we need to do. Harry, we need you to look. Here's what we'll do. You look in the camera and go, Tour Junkies, listeners, subscribers, followers, let's hammer Tito's on social media and make this thing happen. Go ahead. I'll let you do that.
Here we go. Tour Junkies, listeners, followers, and subscribers, let's hammer Tito's on all social media platforms and give both myself and the Tour Junkies a much-deserved Tito's sponsorship. Do it.
Yes, that's going to do it. So we'll just do the job that your agent can't do. You know what I mean? Like we'll just let the people take it. All right, we'll keep going. We'll move on so we're not here all night. Pat, I'll let you. All
right, a couple questions I've got. So, all right, you've got a day to purge a group of golf fans. So you're going to get rid of them. What group are you taking out, and what are you doing to them?
You kind of alluded to this earlier.
Yeah. Can you cut it in and out? I missed out like the description of what type of golf fans. I got the basis of the question, but who am I whacking out?
An annoying group of people on the golf course.
Yes.
Like this guy. Like what if you could just completely purge one group, one segment of the population out that irritates you? Which ones are you?
age specific or just?
No, just what are they doing? You know what I
Oh,
mean?
what
Like,
are they doing?
yeah.
Oh man.
Like, okay, here's a few examples.
I haven't really had. So again, I'm all for it. Like, you can say whatever you'd like to me. You can say whatever you want to anybody. I would say that you need to be respectful. Like, this is our job, so you don't need to say ridiculously mean things. You know, just there are stupid things that get said. I go to sporting events too. I say stupid things too.
So here's a few examples. So you've got obviously your Baba Booey mashed potatoes, dumb, like light the candle guy.
I don't.
You've got your yell at guy, or you got like your belligerent guy. You've got your take my job too seriously volunteer person. Me and Aaron Fleener have talked about taking out grown ass men who must have a handshake, fist bump, or autograph, and we don't understand what that's about. Like, why at 40 years old?
I don't sign many autographs. I'm getting tired of signing like 50-year-old men something. Like, I'll sign anything if it's a kid.
Yeah,
still,
I can't.
Like, I'm not out signed yet. I've got plenty of autographs to sign still. But there's a lot of that. I'm not a huge. I don't hate the Baba Booey and the mashed potatoes and whatnot. Those are the guys that it gets real dicey when you start yelling at him. You yell that before I hit the ball, we're going to have a problem. And I'm probably not going to get to do what I want, but I will get you kicked out. I do not love – I don't really like, let's say you hit a great shot to 6 feet and there's a bunch of people around and you miss the putt. You constantly – but you can't kick everyone out. Everybody groans like, oh. Like, yeah, I'm pretty pissed off I missed it too, folks. You can't say the volunteers because, we can't really. We need them. But there are a lot of – there are a lot of people that we're constantly showing our badges. We're the only one, in the summer months, we're the only ones on property in pants and golf shoes, guys. I'm allowed into the locker room here, okay? I left it in my golf bag. I'm sweating.
Sir, I have pants on, okay? I have pants on.
Usually we've got logos all over the place.
Like a NASCAR with pants on.
It's me.
See, I'm surprised that and maybe you aren't annoyed by, just the guy that, just because you can get it off the ground and airborne, and they're think that's a great shot, and you've literally bombed it out there, but you're way right. But they're like, woo!
That's only happened. And again, I haven't played many tournaments with a ton of fans. That's only happened a few times, and at least still up until now, I still borderline laugh at that. I'll hit one and they're like, wow, and it's so far right. No, that's not. And I'm irritated, I might show some emotion, but it's still funny that people just take 2 seconds and maybe try to follow the ball and see if it was good or not. And then I don't know, there's been a couple, but I've had fun experiences with it. I've hit it I think it was Friday when I played Torrey South. I hit it in the right rough on 18. And I was on an upslope. I had a really good lie, but it was a little further back. And I'm not a great 3-wood player. And I'm thinking man, 3-wood could be the club here. And then, I'm right and close enough to where the fans are right there. And everybody's egging me on. You go for it, go for it, go for it. And I didn't. I laid up and made birdie. I guess in theory I would be pissed at those people had I gone for it and hit the water. But I kind of love that. I told them, I literally said out loud, no, I'm not great with 3-woods, especially out of the rough. So I'm probably gonna lay this one up. And sure enough, I decided to lay it up, and they thought that was funny. Somebody the next day, Saturday at Torrey, I was walking down 18, and I totally mismatched my belt to my outfit, and I knew it, and I really just didn't care. And somebody, I hit in the right rough again, and somebody yelled I laid up again, and then I made another birdie. Somebody yelled, "Your belt doesn't match." And look, most of us, when you say stuff like that, are well aware, and I was aware, and I did turn to him, and I said, "Yeah, I know," and I just it's not that big a deal. it's my belt. Who cares?
Yeah.
There hasn't been anybody that I'd like to see get tossed or it all. You know, some weeks it gets older faster.
I have a picture of Pat, you know, showing up to his job with the 2 different pair of shoes on for that day. So I totally, you know, sometimes people just, it's like, hey, man, you've been on your job and worn something dumb.
Yeah.
And
that was my
it happens.
3rd event in a row. I'm traveling all over the country. Like, I'm staying at a house, so I have to do my own laundry. I'm really not going to do it. Not that, you know, so the outfit's going to get mismatched, and then the belt I choose to wear might not match. And
so,
you know what?
Harry Higgs does not have scripted outfits at this point. You're not to that point yet.
I don't know that I will ever get to that point because there are some pairs of pants. There are some pairs of pants that don't fit as well. I mean,
you will.
I don't know.
You will.
I think that's something that I have to agree to. So
you will.
Yeah,
I just feel like you will. I feel
the
like
folks at Grayson have taken
I
very
love
good
Grayson.
care of me.
Love Grayson.
And if they ask, I will probably oblige.
We're gonna get to that later.
I've told them that.
Yeah, we've got some questions on this later on the attire.
Well, we need to, Pat, go ahead, finish up.
All right, so I got another question. Let's go back to the college days with the SMU golf team. What's a funny, memorable type story that comes to mind that you know, from your college days? And
there's plenty. The one that stands out was my freshman year. I was the only freshman on the team. I come in, I qualify for the first event. In the lead up, like right before we played our last qualifying round, a couple of the guys had mentioned, like, do you know what song you're going to sing? And I'm like, what are you guys talking about? They told me that a freshman on the team, or somebody, the first event you travel to, you have to get on the airplane and sing a song over the intercom system on the airplane. Like, you gotta think about it, come up with a song. So I qualify for the first event. I'm in the airport. I've forgotten about it. This is the time of iPods, still, 2010. And they come up to me and they say, Harry, what are you going to sing? And I'm like, dude, I don't believe you guys. There's no way you did this. No way. And they did. And they, like, quick came up with the songs that they sang. You know, somebody said I sang Happy Birthday and this, and this. So somehow I settled on listening on my iPod, Ain't No Mountain High Enough. So we walk on the plane. Obviously, we all walk on, like, one after the other. And Aaron Stewart, Payne's son, goes right up to the flight attendant. Aaron's a good-looking dude. He can talk very smooth. So he just smoozes her over. Sure, Aaron, no problem. We'll tell you when it's best for Harry to come up and sing. Absolutely. And we were flying to Minnesota. So it's about a 2-hour flight, and about 90 minutes in, no one has gotten me out of my seat. No one has made the announcement over the intercom. And I'm like, okay, great. The airline folks forgot. Okay, screw it. This is good news for me. And sure enough, boom, intercom comes. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got the SMU men's golf team, and they have a freshman traveling for the first time. They're headed up to Minnesota to play a tournament. As is per custom, you know, freshmen that travel for the first time get to come up and sing a song to you guys. And I'm like, oh, man, I got God. I mean, so I did. I got up. I went up. I sang the song. And as soon as I got back and my ass hit the seat, we're all sitting around each other. I knew that none of those guys had ever sang before. I was fully convinced at the time that they had all done this, and they probably knew, like, a day or two in, that this was the first sucker that they were going to get on. Like, and I tried to get everybody else after that to do it. Every year after that, the new freshmen, and no one would do it. So
no one did it after that.
Nope, no one did it.
Harry, you're not
and the last.
What?
Well,
was Josh? Was Josh Gregory on? He was gone before you got there, wasn't he?
No, Josh was. This was I sang my freshman year. Josh was not there yet. Josh was there for my last 3 years.
Oh, he was. Okay.
So Josh okayed it if I could like get them to do it, but no one was ever.
Oh my word!
I don't know. I did it. I straight up did it. I sang like 30 seconds of Ain't No Mountain.
Well, I mean, hey, props to you.
Yeah.
What a set. What a set. Let him hang. You know what I mean? Let him hang on the
That's
airplane.
it. That is there were countless other stories, but the one that always comes to mind.
You know what happened there? My favorite funny movie of all time, and a lot of people haven't seen this, but my favorite funny movie of all time is The Other Guys. Have you ever seen The Other Guys?
Yeah.
You
was just on the other day. I put like 10 minutes of it on and then changed it. But
have you seen the whole thing though?
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah.
Okay, so you got desk popped. You got desk popped when he's like, when's the last time you did a desk pop? No, I've never done a desk pop. And they're like, yeah. Stuart, when did you do your desk pop? He's like, September '99. And all these guys are going around talking about when they did their desk pop. And those guys totally
That's exactly what it was. Yeah.
You got desk popped.
Exactly what it was. I couldn't. And then, dude, shit you not, as soon as my ass hit the seat, I'm like, man, they got me. None of these assholes sang. No way.
Oh, man.
I even put that little mic in my hand and was like, am I really going to do this? And then I hit the button and just started singing. I was like, yeah.
Props to you, man. That's
we played great that week, too. I mean, it was boom.
That's a great story.
There you go.
Oh, all right.
The next day, we're there at the practice round. Kelly Craft was a senior when I was a freshman. And a good buddy of his, John Peterson at LSU.
Oh, yeah, we know JP. We know JP.
I don't even have the golf balls out of my bag to practice putting before our practice round. And John Peterson is bellowing, ain't no mountain high enough from the other side of the green. So it already made its round. This is before really social media and all this. I mean, not really, but kind of before it all started. I mean,
John Peterson's a legend.
Absolutely.
So you said you like to gamble. If you're at home and you're playing Trinity Forest with your boys, you're playing a money game. Yeah. What's the game that you enjoy playing the most?
Wolfhammer.
Wolfhammer. Love Wolfhammer.
Yeah.
I need you to talk about, because I didn't get a chance to pull you aside from what you were doing, but on Wednesday of the Players, which is crazy to think about that was like literally a month ago. I was there. Right? I was there they gave us media credentials, which is weird. Yeah. So I was there greenside, and I walked up, and me and Pat have liked you for a long time. I just FaceTimed LT, and I was like, your boy Harry's over here doing his thing. And he's like, yeah, look at him over there. I showed LT, you're practicing. And, but you started doing this little chipping thing with your brother who's on your bag as a caddy. You were off, just off the green, like a little downhill chip, like right to left. And you guys kind of were drawing some attention because there was some gambling going on.
Yes.
And I was trying to figure out what the game was. All I know is I believe what happened is by the end of that, you owed your brother some money. And this was Wednesday. This was Wednesday before the Players Championship.
Yeah, simple little chip. Most of the time when I'm on my P's and Q's about my practice, I do like to finish with like a basic chip, hit about 10 of them, and try to make at least one, ideally two of 10. So that was kind of the end all be all. Like, all right, I'm going to just keep hitting chips until two of them go in, one of them go in. My coach Corey Lundberg was there too, and Corey, ever the odds man.
I saw him
big into poker. Like he started creating these odds that like, you don't make it within 10. I don't remember the exact number, but it's $100. Every 5 after that, you try. If you make it, you're square.
It seemed like every time you missed,
every 5 balls was another 100. And I think I'd hit like 30 or 40. It was almost like $500-600 or something.
I hit a lot of chips.
I can't remember who it was. I'm pretty sure it was Eric Van Rooyen was there as well, and he got win. Maybe it was a foreign guy. I can't remember who it was. I don't think it was him.
I had time to drink an entire.
We were there for a bit.
Beverage.
Someone else.
Your brother. Every time you chipped, your brother's just like.
Yeah. Just it got to like. I think I was down like. I think I got to like $600 I owed him. Whatever it was, I don't know if it was somebody said, we started talking and then it was, okay, well, here we go. We'll go 5 more balls. If I make one, it's 0. if I miss all 5, it doubles. So now we're into. I think it was like 500 or 600 to 1,000 or 1,200, whatever it was. And I made like the second or third one in that set of 5. So it actually ended up zeroed out, but I was down for a lot.
Well,
so I mean, I'll almost always bet on myself.
Yeah. It was fun to watch.
Reason. That was probably a little unreasonable. You know, I'm very fortunate to play golf for quite a bit of money, but losing $1,000 chipping balls is a little aggressive. Like,
it was fun to watch.
Yeah.
At least it's going to your brother, though. You know what I mean? Like, there's worse people you could have to pay off on the golf course.
And I could have finagled it, like, you know, I'll just take it out of your weekly, so he wouldn't. You know, I would have figured something out. I mean, but yeah, and better with my brother than someone else.
Sure. I've got a handful of listener questions here, real quick. Sure. So Scotty. I don't even know. Scotty DeFrucio. I think
Scotty doesn't know.
He's in the mob. He's probably in the mob. His uncle has definitely broken some people's legs. He says, with how Harry is always laughing and smiling on the golf course, does he ever feel as if dudes that have sticks up their ass get mad about how much fun he's having? And does he care? Probably not.
Man, no, I don't care. I don't really realize that I'm smiling and laughing as much as I am. If you had to like poll me on my, what are you happy or irritated or frustrated more than, you know, which one are you more? I would say I'm more frustrated and irritated at things. But then again, like I keep seeing pictures or videos and I'm just kind of laughing away at odd stuff. I think it's just kind of the way that I do things. Again, like that goes back to the forever ago question that I don't really think there's too many people that are like me. I will laugh things off more than most people will. I think it helps me, so I'm gonna hopefully keep doing it. It'll be troublesome if you see me out there and I'm real pissed off.
You know,
I'll get pissed off for sure. But
it's probably Joel probably hates that you're like all laughing and having a good time.
For sure. As much as he whines and cries.
Probably.
Yeah.
He did. I made a putt on 18, what at the time I thought was to make the cut. Birdied 18 there. And he goes, man, I made like an 18-footer. He had like 12 feet downhill for birdie. He said, as I'm going, he's like, dude, I could 3-putt. He hadn't even hit his putt yet for birdie. I could 3-putt this, and we would tie for these 36 holes, which is laughable because he was on autopilot, and I was all over the place.
He is such
How many videos I've seen of him, like it seems like where he'll hit a putt, or I've watched him in person, and like he's walking off like the damn thing's not going in, and then just freaking drops.
It goes right in,
yeah.
It's so good. It's so he does. It's not all the time, but he does things like you would never, or doesn't really does things, says things you would never coach somebody, or like, well, maybe be nicer to yourself. Joel isn't quite like that.
Yeah. By the way, I don't know if you know this, he's got a pretty smoking hot mother-in-law. So if things don't work out with you and Courtney, you know, Joel could hook you up with his mother-in-law. She's been on the podcast.
She's made an appearance. Unintended, but it happened.
I'm not going to say anything more. Yep.
It was interesting. All right. At Marco Powerpuff, our boy Marco, he wants to know if you have to quarantine with one golfer, one musician or band, and one actress, who are you quarantining with? One golfer, one band or musician, artist, whatever you want to say, and then one actress. Who are you quarantining with? Who are you hunkering down with? I love this question.
He's going to have to sound
that's a
like
really
the end of that. He's,
It'd probably be Keith Mitchell, because I know he drinks some really good wine.
Love Killer Keith.
I'm not a huge music guy. I think, and I just listened to like Spotify. You can like create the whatever station, and I really like Kygo's one. Mm-hmm. Like I like kind of a very mild beat, but just kind of. So I don't know. Let's say him, so he can play music. I don't know. Musician, whatever. Actress. Who's my favorite actress?
He had to whip the head around.
No, you got to
think that was
whip that head around.
Have you guys seen Westworld?
Westworld.
HBO.
Uh-uh.
I think it's Evan Rachel Wood. She is
Dolores
Dolores in Westworld.
I know who you're talking about.
I like her. I like her look.
DB's
I
over there
like her look a
Googling
Yeah.
as we speak. I can tell he's Googling
Wait,
right
wait,
now.
what?
Very
was it again?
classic, classy. Evan Rachel Wood.
She's been on some other stuff before this, though, that was more popular. Well, not that Westworld's not popular, but I know she's been on some other things too.
Well, I can't
yeah,
understand Westworld, so all I get to do is look at her and
Very, very classic.
It's a very classic. I was either going to say that or, Jennifer Aniston's usually a layup. I mean, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, of course. Sure.
I like that.
Cool.
Being a gentleman from the that was into the 90s
what?
shows.
You're a what? Okay.
I like Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
Whatever. I like her too.
I like it.
See,
all right.
Okay. All right. Hot take. I don't really think she's all that.
But I don't know that I always go for the one that everybody's like, oh my god.
You can't go. You can't. Yeah.
Guys,
No one on this
guys,
would have thought.
I'm not saying that.
We're not all like
that.
saying like we need to go after the.
That's
the
not what I'm
hottest girl on the
saying.
planet.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I'm not. I just don't. I think she's overrated.
Yeah, I like her look. It's a little bit more unique, which I don't know what I mean by that. But
good question from Marco. All right,
very
here's the last
question.
Now the last one has like 4 questions. The Degenerate 75. First one.
He's a degenerate, obviously. So he's
going over the top with these questions. He
top.
says, "You're coolest guy off the course." I guess is he being coolest guy in general, or is he saying?
Guy?
I guess he's saying. Okay, maybe he's saying what Tour Pro do you think is the coolest guy off the course? I don't know. Maybe that's.
I think you got to say Keith again.
Keith Mitchell. Yeah, he's very cool.
He's a good dude.
His nickname, one of his many nicknames is literally Cool Breeze. Like
Cool Breeze.
Keith is all-time cool.
He's got an amazing ping pong table.
Have you seen JT Poston.
JT Poston's a man.
Well, they live together. They live together.
Have you seen Keith's? Have you seen Keith's ping pong table?
It's his ping pong / dining room table.
Yeah, it really
they play
is.
on it and eat on it. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's too nice to eat on. I think I would. It's an amazing ping pong table.
I think I'll amend that answer. I think I'll sneak JT in there first.
I like that. Okay.
Great guy.
Yeah.
All right.
He's a little flashy for me at times.
Now speaking of,
yeah.
Okay, so Postman he's awesome. Now speaking of big time in the Tour Junkies, you know who's big time in the Tour Junkies is Keith Mitchell. He's big.
Yeah, I mean, Keith can be a little flashy. Sometimes he's a little big time.
Yeah,
which is crazy. We've been to the house. Yeah. We've been to the house. We've seen the pool table in person.
We kicked it at the crib, Keith. Like get on the show, dude. It's not that painful. Yeah, we've had Crunchy Pete on. Like, what are we doing? All right.
You gotta come on at some point.
Here's the second question from the Degenerate. Other than slow play, what would be other reasons you would not look forward to being paired with a guy during a round? So what annoys you other than slow play about a player? You don't have to, obviously he's not asking you to name a player.
Yeah.
What do you not
slow
like?
Slow play is for sure number one.
I think, again, this fits Joel. You just got a guy pissing and moaning and whining about everything.
But I think I would. I don't know. Joel might not be one of the best guys for me to be paired with because we do things so differently. And I'm not. Joel doesn't do this all the time, but he was doing it a lot that week.
On his way to a T5.
Yeah, qualified for the British Open. Yeah,
freaking A.
Made a ton of money and qualified for the British Open. It's not anything like specific that I could say I don't like when people do this and this, but there are just people, that you don't get on with. Like, and you might actually be great friends with them if you did hang out together off the course. But there's some people's attitudes, approach, the way they talk that just kind of, at least me, just annoys me, and I just don't really. I find myself not playing that well with them around.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I don't even know. I haven't even had anybody where it's been that. But there are just sometimes groups, a threesome, and just no one is having, no one's playing good golf. No one's really smiling or, just. So it's not anything specific. Slow play would for sure be number one. I don't get why people have to take so long. But it's not many. I think slow play, like everything else, is getting blown out of proportion. I think the majority of us are ready, know when to get ready, and hit when we're ready. So, but there are some that take too long.
All right. Well, we're going to end this podcast, Harry, despite how much fun this has been. We're going to end this by having you settle some debates, okay, between me and Pat. So based on the choices that Pat is going to give you, you're going to pick one of these, and one of these Pat is a fan of, and one of these I'm a fan of. And we just want to know what Harry's a fan of, and that'll kind of help us, settle the argument. And that's how we're going to end.
Easy enough.
So let's just let Pat start it, and we got just a handful of these. And
is there a point system here? Because I'm looking at the questions here, and the first one is settle the debate, Team Pat or DB. So are we waiting till he answers all these questions?
Seems like.
Yeah. We don't need to tell him what side we're on. We just need to we just need to just see what he says. I'll keep track here. I
need you to keep track of these because I'm going to ask these questions and we're going to see what he says.
I'm ready. Let's see. Okay. Go with you can go in any order you want, by the way. Any order you want.
No, I'm going to start with this question. So drinking rosé, is that manly or not?
No, I'm out.
Okay. All right. Wait, you can't.
That's a point for me.
You can't. That's you're
started shaking his head.
You can't.
Yeah. Nope.
David, you can't this has got to be objective here. You can't say.
I waited until his answer. But
we haven't. But we haven't finished all the questions yet.
It doesn't matter. It's the only rosé related question. That's it. Okay.
All right. All right. Jogger golf pants. Would you wear those? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, that's a point for Pat. That's a point for Pat.
Okay, no, don't tell him where the points are. Wait till the end.
Okay.
Wait till the end.
My thighs are way too big for something
they get smaller at the ankles, buddy. You don't have to worry about your thighs. It's just your ankles.
I know, but then it balloons up top because I have to make them big enough to – it looks like I'm wearing a parachute. No, out.
Okay. I love the joggers. Right. I actually have
Next
a pair of Grayson joggers, by the way.
I'm not against them, but I can't wear them.
Okay.
I'm going in order. Well, no, I'm going to switch it around here. Okay.
We have to tell him who – we have to tell him what – after he makes the selection, whose side he's on.
Okay. All right. Okay. Fine. Widespread panic, yes or no? A fan of widespread? Or do you even know who they are?
I have no idea what that is.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a point for me.
No, that's really a point for against Ben.
It's a point for me.
Okay. Right.
No, it's a point for me. I can't stand. I don't even.
Is
understand.
It a band?
Yeah, it's a band.
They're a band. Look them up. Widespread panic.
I thought you were talking about the coronavirus.
You touched the coronavirus. No, actually, this is pretty bad. People are dying, Pat. Yeah. I'm kind of not a fan of that.
Okay. All right. Boobs or ass?
Ass.
Yes! Me and Harry are crushing it right now. We are crushing it right now.
I thought, I didn't know that I was ever pegged as a boob man.
You're 100% a boob guy.
No, when did that ever come out? I don't.
Your wife has great boobs and very
okay.
Little ass.
Yes, she does, but I didn't know that was maybe. All right. Anyway,
that tends to go ahead and pigeonhole you.
All right, fine. I feel like this is totally against me. Everything has been tailored against me. All these questions, but let's just keep going here. Bloody Marys or no?
No, they taste like vomit. I hate
this.
Bloody
Is going to be a clean sweep. This is going to be a clean sweep.
I hate them. I hate them. I had this talk with a buddy the Saturday. I hate them. Disgusting.
All right.
Pat,
I am not a person to judge, but if this next question does not go my way, I'm really going to judge you.
The first year we played in My Memory Guest, Pat's like, I'm just telling you right now, if they don't have Bloody Marys tomorrow morning, I am done. Like, I'm done. And I'm like,
I don't
even
get
know,
it,
dude.
man. That tomato juice tastes like vomit.
Why do I want tomato juice in Worcestershire at freaking 8 a.m. in the morning?
With vodka. You're just ruining the vodka.
So we get there, and my club actually had a Bloody Mary bar.
It was beautiful.
In
It
front
was the
of
most
range,
beautiful thing you've ever seen.
As happy as you've ever seen him. He was so happy. Anyway.
How'd you play?
I think I took a picture of it. I might send it out.
He probably played terrible. He did take a picture.
All right. Hungover. Hair of the dog the next morning or not?
I mean, I've done it. I don't really like to do it because it usually takes like 3 drinks for it to actually be normal again.
But you do have to pound them.
But so the preferred method is, if you're hungover, the preferred method is drink more alcohol or not.
I go more eat like shit, like eat greasy hamburger, cheeseburger.
I feel like this is a not. I feel like this is a not.
I mean, I've done it, but I'll go Pedialyte and at least a cheeseburger, and then I'm good.
Okay, so this is a not, and another point for DB. This is terrible.
Me and Harry are literally the same person, except I can't hit a golf ball like he can.
Okay, all right.
You might be able to now. I don't know what my game's like.
I know where this answer is going to go, but I mean, this is going to be another one against me. But I don't do this anymore. But apparently, this gets. I didn't write all these questions either. Pleated pants or no?
No. I don't think my pants are. My pants aren't pleated, right?
I'll give you, Pat. I tell you what. I'll throw that one out.
No, I don't wear pleated pants.
Yeah, throw that one out because I don't wear.
But I will put it as a just on the side. Just this.
Yeah, it's a little half point.
Okay.
I've literally only won. I've won one of these. All right.
Like two more.
The only one I won was that DB likes jogger pants. All right. So.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Golf shoes, comfort or style?
I'd say comfort.
Okay.
Okay. That's a win. That's a win for me. That's a win for me. Okay.
Pat's still wearing his brown, black, and white FootJoys.
I order the same pair of Adidas shoes. I mean, I just wear them all the time. Sometimes I get a black pair, but I just tell them send me the white one. Size 13. I can wear them right out of the box. They're perfect. So Adidas is another one. You could help a guy out a little bit. I mean, they help out. They send them to me for free, thankfully. But that's all I'm going to wear.
Yeah.
All right. So last one that I have here, and sorry, first I got to clarify. So you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan?
Yes.
Okay. So you got a big game for your team. I mean, this is huge game. We're talking Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you watching by yourself or with friends?
No friends. None.
That's a Pat.
That's a me. Okay, yeah. That's a me. All right.
You made a little bit of a comeback.
I made a comeback. I didn't win.
I'm a big Villanova basketball fan. My dad went to Villanova. Big Villanova basketball fan. And then the Philadelphia Eagles. Those are really the only 2 teams that I give a damn about. Fortunately, we've had a nice run.
Yeah.
We were at the 2016 Nova championship when Chris Jenkins hit the buzzer beater. But they won in 2018 as well. And they played KU. We were back in Kansas City. They played KU in the Final Four, in the semifinal. And we locked all the doors in our house and went in the basement. No one was allowed to come over and watch. Because obviously, we're clearly the only Villanova fans, and everybody else loves KU. And then when they beat Michigan, same thing. We lock our doors. We want to be down there ourselves. The Eagles Super Bowl, we were all in Arizona. My parents rented a place there. And my dad's brother, Uncle Perry, and his wife, Aunt Kathleen, were there. And that was borderline
too much.
Too many people.
Yeah.
We just carried on like it was just the 4 of us, me, my brother, my mom, and my dad.
See, Pat.
And Uncle Perry is I mean, he's a great man, and he's a little bit more buttoned up than me and my dad. And we are going to let the F-bombs fly, whereas Uncle Perry is not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no, we all had a ton of fun, but that was the one time when someone else was allowed.
See, Pat, with Georgia, it's Georgia football. With Georgia,
you just
with
shut
Georgia
it down.
games,
You watch by yourself.
Pat wants to be, and I'm like, no, you know what? Because here's what I need. I need the social interaction to distract me from when we do something stupid, or we continually do something stupid, or we lose. Like, I need some sort of like, I can't.
The last couple times I've done it, it's worked. So hopefully the Eagles, let's say they get to the Super Bowl next year. And let's say I watch alone and they lose. Maybe next time I think about something else. But no, it's just been me, mom and dad and brother. That's it. We just watch together and scream and yell at the TV.
Well, either way, that's great for you, Pat. But I clearly won this. Like 5-3.
We made a comeback, Pat.
Or really
6-3.
But I threw out that.
We threw out one question, but still.
But we greatly appreciate you being on the podcast, Harry. Taking this much time is ridiculous.
That's right. I don't have anything else to do.
Definitely.
I'm fresh out of TV shows. When there's no sports, I was doing a puzzle earlier today.
Okay. Oh, that's what I should have asked. I should have asked that because me and Pat have just been texting about this. I hate puzzles.
I am so anti-puzzle, and I sat and had lunch here at home. My girlfriend was working on one, and I literally sat there. I've been sitting here until I talked to you guys for about 3 hours doing it. And I hate myself for doing it because I don't like puzzles.
My wife, literally the other day, my wife finished a puzzle, and she's big into it. She likes it. And then the next day, she threw it all back in the box. And I'm like, you just did all that?
Yeah.
What the
next day?
What the hell just happened?
I think we've got a faulty one, too. There's some pieces that are not – there's some thin pieces that are missing.
I can't handle that. I cannot handle that. I would rather just sit and stare at the wall. I'd rather put my nose in the corner.
I would much rather do that, but somehow I got sucked into it today. I'd rather just watch some stupid, mindless television show.
Speaking of that, have you watched Tiger King yet? Have you watched Tiger King?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolute greatness.
I loved it.
That's all that can be said.
I love it. Pat
I haven't seen it yet. I just got done with Ozark.
You have to watch.
I just had to finish. I just finished Ozark.
Ozark is amazing. It's amazing.
So
but
good.
You have to watch Tiger King to free your mind. You know what I mean? Like just to stop.
Just to think that literally 2 hours from my house, there was somebody like that had 300 tigers and lions in their possession. Are you kidding me?
Harry.
I didn't really know that was a thing. I thought they were all in jungles and
like 3 episodes in though, it doesn't become about the tigers.
There's no more animals. No.
You don't even care about that. You're like the tigers? What?
No.
Like I have a Westie. Who cares? Like you don't even think about that. You think about all the other stuff.
You can get a tiger for cheaper than a dog.
That is true. When he was talking about how much
How
he's
is
selling
that
for,
a
I was
thing?
like, wait a minute. I could
Why
buy an
is he
English
not selling them
bulldog
for
for
more?
twice that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why can I buy an
Did
English
somebody
bulldog
tell
for
him?
That's insane.
No wonder he ran out of money. He was selling tigers too cheap.
You dummy. You can buy a golden doodle for double that.
They're like $1 million. And those dogs are crazy.
They shed? I'm pretty sure tigers probably don't shed.
No, tigers don't shed. All they do is eat. It's easy. You might need a cage, but
they might rip your dick off if you get too close. But other than that, like a golden doodle won't do that. You're going to pay $4,000.
Man, the characters in that show, unreal.
It's. Have you watched the extra episode that just came out?
I made it like 10 minutes in. They were interviewing, and I thought it was terrible.
Okay, yeah, I
Do I need to go more? Is there something? I
haven't started.
Okay, I was 10 minutes in. My opinion is it's worthless.
Okay,
so,
all right. Well, I'm
maybe
wrapping
20
up.
minutes in, it gets better. But
I think I've got like 3 episodes of the new Ozark season left, so I'll finish that first, and then maybe I'll go back to the Tiger King.
Okay, yeah.
The overall
Watch
Tiger
Ozark,
King was the best. It was the best.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
2 hours away from your house. Do you feel like you kind of missed out though, like on a little?
I mean, I can't tell you. I drove, every now and again from Dallas back up to Kansas City or Kansas City down. I feel like I was one turn away from the highway from getting to see all this.
Do you look at your parents and you're like, hey, guys, what were we doing? What
What
were
is
we
the
doing?
deal? How did no one know about this until now?
How did me and my
I didn't
brother
know that people there were multiple thousands of tigers and lions in America. I didn't know that was a thing. I thought they were all in jungles or
in like
Africa
legit
or,
zoos,
roaming. Yeah, just in the wild. You could walk
in the wild in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, you could be in South Carolina and driving on the road, and you have to stop for a damn tiger.
Yeah.
God, shit! I need to watch this.
What scared me the most was the guy with the venomous snakes. The guy that had all the venomous snakes. Like that to me, I'm like, I don't.
At what point is that a good idea?
Give me a tiger. Give me a lion. Give me a liger, which Joe was making ligers up in that piece. Like, but don't give me a horned nose viper from freaking Africa. Like, don't give me that.
I'm good.
But you idiots in Florida want to buy one of those things. I don't even.
Is that not the most Florida thing of all time?
I know, and we're close to Florida. We're very close to Florida. Pat is
You're
extremely close to Florida. Like
I love Florida. The golf
you
down
could have
there
a
is
pit
great.
viper. You could have a pit viper in your yard like tomorrow, like mañana, and this would be bad news for you and your whole family. All right. Well, now that we've solved that, Barry, thank you, man.
Absolutely, guys.
We appreciate it. This was a good hang. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, no worries.
Hope you play fantastic when you get back on the road.
Thank you very much.
Colonial.
We'll see you all soon, hopefully.
Text me your list and I'll send you. I mean, I know like Brooks is on there and Bryson or whatever. I know they're
the best in the world are always on there.
You don't care about those guys.
Bryson and Scotty Scheffler are for sure on there.
Okay,
and those guys they're so good that
but see,
if you beat them, you're going to do well.
Okay, but see, like Scotty's odds maybe a little. I mean, he's going to be shorter than you, but let's just say like it's a little. It's not. You're like, oh, really? He's that much shorter than me? Like he shouldn't be. And then you'll be motivated. You know what I mean? Like, so send me one of him, or I'll send you Joel's odds. You'd be like, Joel, that head case?
Yes.
Lord God, have mercy. Yeah, he's shorter than me. Yeah, sure, I'll take that bet. We'll do it.
Oh, I love it.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Tell Courtney thank you for her patience.
Yeah. No worries, guys.
She's a star. Appreciate it, dude.
She is. Absolutely. Y'all take care. All right, man.
Thank you, buddy.
See ya.